Fascinating news that I want to talk to you about today, and I want to get an expert opinion on this. The Food and Drug Administration's given permission for a large clinical trial of ecstasy as a means of treating those suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. Joining me on the Grip Tight Foundation Repair Newsmaker line, it is an expert on PTSD. It's Shannon Walker. Shannon, welcome back to WHO in Des Moines. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am doing terrific, although I just find this news fascinating. So as we look into this, Shannon, how could ecstasy affect the mind of someone suffering from PTSD?
Well, I'm not a doctor, and my first thought when I heard the study also was I was actually really negative about it, and I'm still very much on the fence.
Yeah.
Maybe more towards being negative because, you know, we provide service dogs to combat veterans who have PTSD, and out of all the veterans that we've helped and spoken with, I've never heard them be excited about another narcotic.
Right.
They get excited when they get to go off of their meds. And the fact that ecstasy is so highly addictive and it's a feel-good drug and long-term causes brain damage, I just don't see how it could be anything that it would be a long-term solution for our American heroes that I feel deserve the best, and they deserve other options, in my opinion, not necessarily another Band-Aid.
Yeah, I'm interested in your opinion, Shannon, because we've also seen an association advocate for use of LSD or marijuana and other banned drugs. In your view, because you work with these veterans that are affected by PTSD, is this, you could see this as, gosh, we're so desperate for solutions, we're sort of turning to these things as a last resort. Is sometimes that what you're thinking when you hear stories like this?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's, society. I think society is like that. I mean, whether it's our children or whether it's our dogs. I mean, veterinarians are prescribing medications for dogs because they can't act right. And so, I think that it's an instant solution to a problem that it is life. PTSD is life altering. And the men and women who suffer from that, the invisible wounds of war, they are changed when they come home. And my dad always taught me about cause and effect. And I think that we need to find healthy solutions from to help them be healthy from the inside out themselves, as opposed to necessarily being medicated. I mean, our veterans, some of their most exciting days after receiving our dogs are when they can report to us that they're either completely drug-free or they've really minimized their prescription drugs. And I just think that this is not necessarily the way that we need to be going long term.
Shannon, you're making such a great point, and you're with Northwest Battle Buddies, and as you said, you provide dogs to veterans that are suffering from PTSD. Would it be your view that we're looking for a chemical solution to something that is an emotional issue? What's your thought on this, having dealt with veterans that have PTSD?
Well, it's not just an emotional issue. I mean, there are chemical changes that have happened in the body. Their conditioned response, creates fight or flight issues. And, one of our veterans who just went through the last group, about a month ago, they got their dogs about a week and a half before Thanksgiving, which was truly a Thanksgiving day for them.
Sure.
But during an interview, he had said that his service dog had done more for him in the last 6 weeks since he'd had him. He was sleeping better than he had in years, and that had done more for him than the 16 prescription drugs that the VA had prescribed to him.
And what do you ascribe that to, Shannon? You were talking about the fight or flight response, and that's a fascinating way of looking at it. How does the dog impact that veteran that helps him so much?
Well, one of the reasons is because he has his battle buddy back. The minute they go into the military, they are assigned a battle buddy. And it is a veteran who came up with the name Northwest Battle Buddies. And the one thing about it is, like when our dogs wake them up from night terrors, not only do they wake them up out of that night terror, but they offer immediate reassurance that is ongoing. That dog is not temporary. The dog is there with them for the life of the dog, as long as they continue to qualify and maintain. We have guidelines. But the fact is this is a gift that is not just a temporary fix. And so these dogs offer that immediate assurance, as well as bring them out of panic attacks throughout their daily lives. And our veterans learn how to reintegrate back into life and deal with the public. And that's actually part of our training process with our veterans. So it truly is a significant change in their life once they receive their service dog in a healthy long-term solution.
So would you say, Shannon, as you said, you're not a doctor, but I wanted to talk to you because you are working with these veterans on a daily basis. Would you say you're skeptical about studies like this, but keeping an open mind, or does arriving at a chemical prescription for a veteran worry you?
It worries me a lot. Writing a chemical, it worries me a lot. In fact, some of the toughest days that our veterans have, it's not where we're asking them to go through airport security or the mall at Christmas time. It's when the medications that they're on have been messed up, or they're changing medications, and it really messes with their physical, not only them physically, but in their mental state. And those are some of the greatest challenges I see them go through. And so when we can find solutions and therapies that are healthier to get them away from that, I just think that we're looking at a much stabler, healthier American hero.
That is Shannon with Northwest Battle Buddies, also expert on PTSD. Shannon, thanks for your comments today. Very good comments. I appreciate your perspective.
Thank you.